Carson pays his lead guy $25 an hour. The guy shows up on time, does decent work, no drama, no substance issues. Carson thinks he's got himself a solid employee, but that good employee is costing him $3,000 a month, and Carson has no idea. Today, I'm breaking down the hidden cost of mediocrity and the real price you pay for good enough, and why settling for B players is the most expensive decision you're making. Hey everyone, Amr here. Quick thing up front. Carson is a composite of dozens of contractors we've worked together at Contractors.com who all face this exact problem. The numbers come from actual businesses we've analyzed. Today, we're putting a dollar amount on the difference between a C player and an A player. So let's meet Carson's good employee. Carson runs a small remodeling company, $350,000 a year. He's got 3 employees. His lead guy is Danny. $25 an hour. Danny shows up on time, doesn't call in sick much, knows how to use the tools. Customers don't complain about him. He's fine. Carson's had worse, way worse. The guy before Danny stole tools. The guy before that showed up drunk. So Danny feels like a win. Here's what Carson sees. Danny costs him $52,000 a year in wages, 25 times 40 hours times 52 weeks. Add 20% for taxes and insurance, $62,000 all in. Danny generates maybe $200,000 in revenue, his portion of jobs. Seems profitable, right? But Carson's not tracking what Danny's actually costing him, that invisible cost. Let me show you some real math. Hidden cost, number 1, rework and callbacks. Danny makes mistakes, not catastrophic mistakes, just mistakes. Now, in my experience working with contractors across North America, this is the pattern with B players. Tiles that are slightly uneven, caulk lines that are not perfectly straight. They forget to install outlet covers. They scratch a hardwood floor moving a ladder. Small stuff. Carson fixes it, Danny apologizes, life goes on. But let's add it up. Carson spends an average of 4 hours per month fixing Danny's mistakes. That's 48 hours a year. Carson bills himself at $75 per hour. That's $360 of Carson's time spent fixing Danny's work, plus materials to redo things, maybe $500 a year, plus the opportunity cost. Those 48 hours Carson's could have been estimating new jobs, building systems, training Danny properly. Call that another $2,000 in lost opportunity. Hidden cost number 1, $6,100 per year. But Amr, you may be thinking, all employees make mistakes. You're right. But in my experience, an A player makes maybe 1 mistake every 3 months and actually learns from it. What we see with B players is they make the same mistakes over and over. That's the difference. Hidden cost number 2, slow production. Danny's slow. Not lazy, not standing around, just slow. A bathroom tear out, Carson estimated at 8 hours, Danny takes 12. Tile work estimated at 3 days, Danny needs 4. Cabinet installation estimated at 6 hours, Danny needs 9. So let's do the math on just one job. Carson estimated a $40,000 bathroom at 80 hours of labor. At $25 per hour, that's $2,000 in labor costs. Danny actually takes 110 hours. That's $2,750 in labor costs. That's $750 over budget on one job. Carson does about 20 jobs a year where Danny's the lead. 20 times 750, 15,000 in lost margin. There's more because Danny's taking longer, which means the next job starts later. Customers annoyed. Carson loses the ability to squeeze in quick jobs. Materials sit in the shop longer. That's inventory carrying cost. Tools tied up longer, you can't run another crew. We're not even counting those yet, just the direct labor overages. Hidden cost number 3, this guy requires supervision. Should I use the 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch plywood? Do you want me to install this outlet here or 2 inches over there? The customer asked about changing the tile. What should I tell her? He needs Carson to start him every morning. He needs Carson to check in at lunch. He calls Carson, sometimes 3 times a day with questions. Carson tells himself he's just being careful. Asking questions is good. But here's what we see across our clients. Danny's not asking questions to learn, he's asking questions to avoid responsibility. Carson spends 2 hours per day managing Danny. Phone calls, job site visits, fixing mistakes, answering questions. 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, 500 hours. Carson could be billing those hours at $75. $37,500 in opportunity cost. But let's be conservative. Let's say half those hours Carson could have been doing billable work or business development. That's $18,750. an A player, in my experience, they need you for maybe 15 minutes a day to review, to approve, not babysit. Hidden cost number 4, reputation damage. Danny's work isn't bad enough to generate complaints. It's just not great. Customers don't leave bad reviews, but they don't leave great reviews either. They don't refer, they don't post photos, they just pay and move on. What we've seen across dozens of clients, when work quality is just fine, referral rates drop. Carson's referral rate used to be 50%, meaning half his customers referred someone. Since Danny became the lead, it's dropped to 25%. Let's quantify that. Carson does 20 jobs a year at $40,000 each. That's $800,000 in potential volume. At 50% referral rate, he'll get 10 referral jobs. At 25%, he'll get 5. Those 5 lost referrals, that's $200,000 in revenue. At 30% margin, that's $60,000 in lost profit. Now, is that all Danny's fault? No, but is some of it? Absolutely. Let's be conservative and say Danny's mediocre work costs Carson 2 referrals a year. At $40,000 each, 30% margin, that's $24,000 in lost profit. An A player, they generate referrals. Customers brag, they post photos, they tell their friends. There's the difference between an employee who's a cost center and an employee who's a profit center. The total cost, let's add it up. In a typical scenario like Carson's, and we've run this analysis for dozens of clients, here's what a good employee actually costs. Direct wages and burden, $62,000. Rework and callbacks, $6,100. Slow production, $15,000. Supervision and management, $18,750. Reputation and lost referrals, $24,000. Total annual cost, $125,850. Danny's generates about $200,000 in revenue. 30% margin would be $60,000 in profit. But after all these hidden costs, Danny's generating $34,150. That's a $25,850 difference per year. Divided that by 12 months, $2,154 per month. I said $3,000 in the hook because I rounded up, honestly. In some cases we've analyzed, it's even higher when you factor in the stuff we didn't count. Probably thinking, Amber, there's just no way, you're kind of exaggerating. I wish I was. We've had this exact conversation many times over the last year. So here's what an A player looks like. Let's talk about what you should look for and what an A player costs. An A player wants like $32 an hour. That's $7 more than Danny. Feels expensive, right? But let's do the math. Direct wages and burden, $78,000, $16,000 more than Danny. But here's what you get. Rework and callbacks, $1,000 per year, saves $5,100. Production speed, on pace or ahead, saves $15,000. Supervision needed, maybe 15 minutes a day, saves $16,000. Reputation boost generates 3 additional referrals, adds $36,000 in profit. An A player costs $16,000 more in wages, but generates $72,100 more in value. That's $56,100 difference. And here's what really gets me. Carson's missing his kids' soccer games to fix Danny's mistakes. He's working Saturdays to make up for Danny's slow production. The cheap employee is costing him time with his family. Now, if you're thinking, okay, Amber, I get it, but how do I find these A players? How do I structure compensation? How do I build a team that runs without me? We created a free guide, the 6 levels of a contracting business. Level 2 is all about hiring your first A player. Level 3 is about building them into a self-managing team. It shows you exactly what to build at each stage, the systems, the compensation structures, training protocols, all the high level. Grab it in the description. This guide will show you how to stop settling for good enough. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more real contracting stories that actually help you build a business, not just a job with employees. Cheers.